There's another type of compressor that many people may find a bit daunting to use, the multiband compressor. Multiband compression is probably more widely used in mastering than mixing, but it can be very useful there as well. Multibands may look a bit confusing at first, with a lot more controls than standard single-band compressors, but if you take the time to look a little more closely, you'll see that they're not as confusing as they may seem at first glance. A multiband compressor is really several independent compressors combined, typically 3, 4, or 5, each set to act only on one particular frequency band. So you can have independent compression for the bass, various mid-range, and treble ranges. The multiband idea originated at radio stations that needed to apply heavy compression to full mixes, but found that it typically produced artifacts. The classic example is a kick drum triggering heavy compression. When it's playing alone, no problem. But when other instruments are also playing, each hit of the kick may cause the compressor to suck down the entire mix for an unpleasant artifact called pumping. Having independent compression for the low frequency range can control the kick without applying unwanted gain change to instruments in the rest of the frequency spectrum. So a multiband can offer a lot more control when compressing a complex signal, allowing for more aggressive compression without negative side effects. But besides simple problem solving, multiband compression can be a powerful tool for controlling the dynamics of a busy mix or track, letting the experienced user process different elements of a mix dynamically. Multibands are sometimes referred to as dynamic equalizers, since they can be employed to change the balance of only particular frequency bands in response to changing levels in the signal. For example, let's say you again have a simple stereo drum track recorded with overheads that ends up being used on its own. As a standalone recording, with no additional close mic tracks to augment it, an overhead track will often have overly loud cymbals and a weak, thin kick, imbalances that will have to be remedied. Static EQ might tame the cymbals, but may also dull down the rest of the kit unacceptably. A regular single-band compressor can also address the cymbals, but may impact the kick as well. But multiband compression can isolate and clamp down on the loud cymbals dynamically with its high-frequency bands whenever they come around, while the low-frequency band can be set differently to pull up the low end of the weak kick, restoring a better overall balance to the drum kit. Now, all this power to affect individual elements in a busy signal, or dynamically change the tonal balance of a track, is one of the reasons why many people are a little wary of using multiband compression. They may have learned the hard way that along with great flexibility comes the potential to do more harm than good. It's easy to misuse multiband compression, unintentionally making unwanted dynamic or tonal changes in the balance of elements in a track. It's one of those processes that you really do need to practice with a bit, getting to know the ways and the degree to which various adjustments, like the ones I just described, will affect the signals being processed. But once you get a little more comfortable, a multiband compressor will be another welcome tool for problem solving and creative compression.